Hello, everybody, and welcome to another League of Legends match. This is going to be last week's match, but this week's match, it's very odd. But it is Central Michigan versus NIU, and I am Connor Vagel, once again, as always, and actually this time joined by Tim Bungalow Bill Schrammick. I say actually because if you guys caught up on the game from Saturday that was premiered yesterday, that would have been Sunday on YouTube, you noticed that we had some technical difficulties. And one, we didn't get to hear Tim's beautiful voice, and then two, we had the game kind of cut off commentary halfway through. So this time we're going to have actual commentary, and it wouldn't be another day with NIU League of Legends if we didn't have something going on. And what's going on today is I am losing my voice as we speak. So not only did you guys not get to hear enough of Tim's voice on Saturday or Sunday, depending on when you watched it, you're going to hear even more of it tonight. So welcome to the broadcast, Tim. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic, Connor. Though I wasn't there on Saturday. I think it was all in your head. You listen
I
to the
see.
stream, guys. I don't know. I wasn't there. So I think Connor's just kind of talking to himself the whole time.
The awkward pauses as that way. Now, looking at it, they're just getting everybody set up in the correct order here for the side of Central Michigan. It is going to be NIU starting off on the red side this time. They started off on or Central Michigan will start off on the blue side. Looking on down the ranks, it's going to be an interesting one. We see, we can't say that they're in the correct order quite yet, so they may be, looking to change that up. But we do have a couple of unranked players here for the side of Central Michigan. An Iron 1, and then a Plat 4 and a Plat 2. So pretty even with NIU.
Yeah,
I see.
similar.
Sorry, just reading the chat. And, so the Y was not a Y as in WHY. It was a Y as in yes. So there we go. They're just checking on that. So yeah, that's what the order is going to be. So. All right, go ahead, Tim. You were going to make a comment here.
Yeah, so I talked to Bradley about this game a little bit before our match. So first of all, if you didn't happen to catch last week, NIU brought home a beautiful victory against Toledo, 2-0. Both games magnificent. You should definitely go get a chance to watch them, especially that second game is really fun to watch. So I was talking to Bradley about this game. I was asking about scouting, and something he told me is that Central Michigan was a pain in his butt to scout because their players like to switch up what they play. So most teams, when you're looking them up, most people are going to main one role. But Central Michigan swaps it up. So I don't know if it's maybe they got certain picks, and comps they like to run, and people, I guess it's just their flex pick for them, and I guess it throws them off. But we'll have to see how it goes for NIU. Bradley did say they're ready for anything, and they're coming out swinging. So I still think NIU is going to be doing all right. And I think we're going to go kick some butt. But I guess in this meantime, Connor, we have some special things coming up very soon for NIU esports.
Yeah, we absolutely do. So coming up later we'll get to those once we have a little bit of time because they are ready up here in the client. So they'll be jumping into Champ Select here very shortly. So we will get to those announcements in just a second. But I believe they should be ready to go. And now I'm kicking myself because I think I had enough time for this announcement. But I do want to say, obviously, there was a reason why we were doing a YouTube premiere for Saturday's game. That would have been because we had the Smash for Support event here at NIU. Very thankful to everybody that came out to support the Trevor Project and play some Smash Bros. We raised over $800 for the Trevor Project, and the tournament was the largest Super Smash Bros. Tournament in Northwestern Illinois history, so that was pretty awesome to hear. But we'll get to the rest of the announcements in just a second because we are into Champ Select here for game number 1.
So far, every game we have seen, Rumble has been banned by the other team. NIU, I've never seen us play Rumble, so I don't know if we're extremely good, but no one lets Rumble through, so I'm interested to see what happens.
It's a different first ban. It's Maokai this time, which is always fun because we have seen quite a bit of Anakin's Maokai, and it's always a fun champ to play, but we have seen it banned away this time, so he'll have to go somewhere different with that one. We have seen him go towards the Sejuani, different things to that nature when that's been banned away. it does look like they're going to go ahead and ban the Jacks here is NIU, which that's followed by a Lulu ban. So do you think that Central Michigan might be going towards this Lucian Nami and trying to lock that in? Because really, we've seen the answer be the Lulu Zeri. So, if they're banning away that Lulu, they could be theoretically trying to get the one of the two strong bot lanes here.
Maybe. Admittedly, I'd be a little surprised 'cause I think I only remember NIU running Lulu once. I don't know how well. Oh, there's the Rumble ban. But I don't remember them running it too much. So I guess we'll have to see as we get these first picks. NIU's banning out Caitlyn, so I'm wondering if Central Michigan, maybe the Lulu was a bit of a comfort ban. I'm not exactly sure how Lulu interacts with the Lucian Nami bot lane, admittedly, because I don't play bot too much.
Yeah, and as you said with the Rumble there, it's going to be taken away, which is admittedly kind of interesting considering we play two different top laners. It's a six-man roster for NIU, and yet we have seen Rumble banned every game. So it must be a Rumble in the jungle or a be chillin' Rumble that they're worried about here. But with that in mind, it is going to be Annie, the 54% win rate champion right now, absolutely giga busted. So if you're playing solo queue, go ahead and just lock in Annie every game, and you're going to get some free LP. That's going to be banned away by NIU, and Vi is going to be picked up here by Central Michigan.
Yeah, I swear. Sejuani gets through. Central Michigan lets Sejuani get through. I don't know what they're doing. Okay, no, NIU's going for the Amumu pick, but so far, NIU Sejuani this season has just been immaculate. Oh my goodness, it's oppressive. If I watched any of those games back, I would be banning Sejuani first. But we're going to get the Amumu pick, and it's somewhat similar to Sej.
Yeah, it is the Zaya. That's going to be locked in, and you know what? I was going to say it. I really hope they go for Zaya Rakan here because you know what? It's in the spirit of the season. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day. You got to have the lovebirds. You got to have Zaya and Rakan. We'll see if that's the direction that Central Michigan wants to head. But at least they've got the Zaya picked up for now. But yeah, Amumu, similarly. Oh, no, they broke up the lovebirds. They got the Braum instead. That's unfortunate. We're not going to see it in game number one. But I was going to say Amumu. Now, if that's a Sejuani in addition to the Amumu, it is indeed. Is this an Amumu support?
I think that's the only thing I can think of, and honestly, I like it. I dig it. I think Amumu right now, especially with that Braum being the second pick, he doesn't have too much ability to poke you too hard, unlike maybe someone like a Lux or, a Nami, Janna, anything like that. So Amumu with that strong engage could be very good for NIU, and it just gives them another option later in the game. And that's going to be a Nivea ban, and Nivea has been very strong this season. Darius getting banned for NIU. Darius always not very fun to play with, so definitely a solid ban.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it does, the Amumu support does look a little different, but considering it is a Kaisa in the bot lane here for NIU, that is going to be something that requires a little bit of an engage. Make sure, that you have the lockdown available to land the Void Seeker and everything with Kaisa. So I do like the pick. It's just a little bit different, and I think it was some good trickery there from NIU, really baiting in that potential jungle matchup with the Amumu potential there. Does end up being now an Olaf ban. They saw the top lane here from NIU on Saturday play that one, but it is going to be okay. I see in the chat we see that Be Chillin' plays a nasty Rumble, so that's where that ban comes from. So thank you for that information. Aatrox's going to be locked in here for NIU. It's more of what the style that we've seen when we do have IXI shot up in the top lane. We've seen something like the Olaf on when we do have the side of Got You Sucker 34 up in the top lane. So a little bit of a different type of composition here with NIU, and that's going to be the Shen answer, which we've seen some priority of that into the Aatrox, but could be an interesting one absolutely here.
Shen's going to be an interesting one to Aatrox. Shen's probably signature ability besides his ultimate, which allows him to teleport to allies and give him a shield, is his ability to block auto attacks for about a 2-second duration, which Aatrox is somewhat auto attack based, but I'd say a lot of his damage is going to come from his Qs. Oh, and we see a Vladimir pick. I do say that's a good pick, I think. Vlad, pretty strong always, scales well. Relatively safe in lane with his W, so it's a pretty solid lineup overall from Central Michigan. NIU also is a very good lineup. I think they're going to need someone with a little more damage here mid lane. So I guess we're going to see what Buff Pillsbury boy has in mind for us right now.
Yeah. Oh, the Kale, another champ that's been seeing a little bit more and more prio as the season's gone on. Um, this does make me wonder, is this going to be a Kale top lane and an Aatrox mid lane rather than the opposite way around? Right now, that seems to be the way that it's hovered, and NIU, with these flexes, has really got some interesting plays up their sleeve. I really like Kale, but she definitely goes into that hyper late game scaling type of composition that seems to be NIU's bread and butter right now. So you're looking at something like the Amumu and the Kaisa gonna have some engage potential, but Kaisa definitely going to be looking to scale in towards the late game. Aatrox is just going to be a monster throughout as long as he doesn't fall too far behind. And then Sejuani and Kale, definitely late game types of champions here. Whereas there's a little more of an early game focus on the side of Central Michigan. So just like we saw in Game 2 on Saturday, you have to imagine that NIU is going to look to just hold off the side of their opponents throughout the early part of the game here. All
Yeah,
right. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the one thing I'd say I'm worried about for NIU here is if Vladimir can get ahead, he's so hard to track down. His W just makes him so mobile, and his cooldowns get very very short by the end. And also that Shen versus Kale matchup, I think Shen's gonna definitely have a bit of an advantage early on. So Kale's just gonna have to play it safe, and hopefully she can kind of just farm up and keep in it. But I believe you want to get our announcements now.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we'll definitely go back to the analysis as soon as the game is starting up. But the other announcements that we have going on, so we've got a bunch of different games going on over the next couple of weeks here for NIU Esports. So tomorrow we're going to be having a Overwatch matchup. I believe it's also against Central Michigan. I could be wrong on that one, but I believe it's Central Michigan tomorrow for Overwatch. That's going to be at 7 o'clock on the channel. Then we're back again on Wednesday for another League of Legends match because this one is a delayed match from last week. Then Saturday will be on tap for another League of Legends match. We'll do another Wednesday, and then the following Saturday. So that's not going to be the. I believe it's the. Let's pull up the calendar. It is not going to be the 18th, but the match that was originally scheduled for Saturday the 25th, that one has been moved. So that will be played at 7 o'clock p.m. on Friday the 24th of February. So just mark your calendars for that one. Other things that we've got going on, and this is a very special announcement. We're really excited about this one. NIU Sports is going to be participating in Huskies United, which is NIU's 1,895-minute Day of Giving. Day of Stewardship, a Day of Giving. So we're going to be really excited to be participating in that one. That is coming up here on March 22nd and 23rd. We're going to be, raising funds for the NIU Esports Scholarship Fund, as well as various different areas across the university will be fundraising at the same time. With that in mind, we are going to have a couple of different streamathons. So it'll be a little bit different than we've done in the past. So in the past, we've done one 12-hour streamathon. This time, we're looking at Wednesday, the 22nd, which is going to be a League of Legends night. We're going to do a pregame show for that match. We're also going to do a postgame show and, a little bit of content after the game gets over. Then on Thursday, we're going to do an additional about 5-hour stream. That'll be some more of that streamathon type content. So we're going to actually split the streamathon off of 2 days. That's going to be March 22nd and 23rd, and we really encourage and appreciate any and all support that we get through that, whether it's views on the channel or support of the scholarship fund. You'll find all the information when that goes live on March 22nd at dog or dog.niu.edu/NIU Esports. Really easy to remember. It's also, you can think of it as Day of Giving, DOG. Again, dog.niu.edu/NIU Esports. So we'll see you guys there. But now, for now, we've got a League of Legends match cast, and so we should be getting into that very shortly. Here we go. And immediately we see something crazy because we see a ghost on Vi.
That's interesting. I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, I've seen it very rarely. It's not necessarily what I would have expected, but we'll have to see how that one plays out. So we are into game, so let's go ahead and get you guys the gameplay here. And yep, it should be, you're seeing a black screen, I know, but there it goes. All right. Oops, excuse me. There we go. And there you guys have some objective timers as well. So, as we look, it is going to be NIU starting with a very standard 5-point. Same thing for the side of Central Michigan. But we do see that actually it's a couple of people stacked up. No, I apologize. I was misreading the map there. But it is going to be the support staying over there by the Vi. Must offer for both of these junglers, so nothing unstandard there. Teleports for both the top laners, again, very standard. It is going to be that Ghost for Vi, which you don't necessarily expect. Mid lane, Ghost for Vladimir, pretty standard, as well as the Ignite for the Aatrox. Cleanse for Xayah. We've been seeing that more and more, but Extra Loaded has gone with the Summoner Heal, and then Ignites for both of these supports instead of the Exhaust. We'll go with the runes real quick, and that is going to be the Grasp of the Undying for the Shen. It's going to be Lethal Tempo for the Kale. Then Conquer for Vi, and we'll just actually go down Central Michigan first. Phase Rush for Vladimir, Lethal Tempo for Xayah, and then Guardian for the Braum. And then from where we picked up there, Aftershock for the Sejuani, Conquer for Aatrox, Lethal Tempo for Xayah, and the looks like that's the Aftershock for the Amumu.
Yeah, nothing too out of the ordinary with those runes there. Lethal Tempo on Kaisa. I thought Halo Blades used to be meta, but they're very similar runes, so it's probably just kind of whatever's better at the moment, as these players obviously keep up a little better on the meta than we do, and we're going to see a nice little poke there. Everyone's just going to be kind of just doing their thing, kind of. Okay, well, Kale and Shen are just going to kind of hit each other back and forth for a couple times, and then heal up all the damage in the next minute.
Yeah, so the way that Kale wants to play this lane as a resident Kale enjoyer in my own time is that she's going to want to try to land a couple of autos and then E. Shen definitely wins these early levels, so yeah, that's kind of how you want to play it until you hit 6, and then you have the range on the auto attacks. Otherwise, before 6, Kale needs to just sit back under turret and just farm as much as she can, because it is not a fun lane to play up until that point. And then after 6, it's just a brutal lane for Shen. Oh, nice pool to be able to get out of that one. Was Darkfire Phoenix, but looking across. Now, NIU does go in with the Bandage Toss. That's going to force out Xayah's Flash very early here, but this is the Ignite, and so Kaisa's going to be able to grab that one. Buff Pillsbury Boy is taken low, but I don't know that he's going to be able to finish that off yet. It is NIU having to back away, but with the flashes used, it is Flash and Heal here from Extra Loaded. It's also going to be the Ignite from Buff Pillsbury Boy, but on the side of Central Michigan, they also had to use 3 Summoner spells down in the bot lane, and so that will be the kill going over towards NIU. Not sure if we saw the cleanse probably could have come out there to be able to get out of some of that stun, but wasn't used, so I think that may have been a bit of a misplay there from Central Michigan. But overall, NIU does get the nice play there and gets the early lead here in the bot lane.
Oh, big play right here. Looks like this might be first. Oh, not quite. Vlad's going to use this pool to get out. Excellent play by him. So we talked earlier about NIU scaling up really hard this late game. I would like to note, though, that Central Michigan scales up very hard, too. Both Vlad and Xayah are pretty hard scalers. Maybe not to the degree of Kale and Kaisa, but still, it's still a pretty scary late game. So I think both teams are just going to be kind of, not necessarily playing safe, but I think if you're Central Michigan here, you're going to definitely want to get your carries ahead, though it looks like bot lane's getting dove again. They're going to pick off Kaisa, and then they're also going to get the Braum, and bot lane is just falling out of hand for Central Michigan already. Yeah,
Central Michigan really disrespected quite a bit there. NIU, if you notice, Sejuani did come in over a ward, so there was vision there of the Sejuani. They just thought they had more time to back off, but instead it was the Amumu and the Kaisa just kind of walking up there and then bumping there as well, and it ended up being a nice kill there for NIU, and they get both there. So really starting to snowball this Kaisa really early in the game. Going back to something you said right at the beginning of the game, the Hail of Blades versus the Lethal Tempo on Kaisa. So, to my understanding, Typically, you play the Hail Blades when you're looking to go with a Lethality Kaisa, or sorry, not Kaisa, Zaya, and then you play the Lethal Tempo when you're looking to go more of a crit build on the Zaya. So we'll have to take a look and see if that's the direction that he's headed with this, but that's typically where you pick those runes either. So looking across, though, NIU definitely starting to grab some gold leads right across the board here. So we'll go ahead and zoom out there, give you guys a little bit of a better view of it. But yeah, it is going to be across the board a nice, nice solid gold lead. Sejuani still hasn't backed, neither has Vi, so that looks more even in the items than it really is. And Chillin almost is able to grab that one, but the nice pull from Vladimir does mean that he's able to get out of that. And now this is what you got to be careful for if you're IXI shot. This is a level 6 Shen, and yes, Shen does not have his ultimate, or doesn't really have an ultimate in the fight. Nicely done to be able to escape there by IXI shot. But looking at it, Kale, typically will not get the level as early as the Shen will in this lane, and then you just got to be careful about the potential for Shen to just dive on top of you and kill you before you have that range. Once you have the range, you're able to really just kite him out because he is an auto attack based champion anyway. So
yeah, now that Shen has his ult, we're gonna have to be kind of watching him whenever you're gonna make a play. Whenever you think about making a play around the map, you got to keep in mind that Shen has his ult and he can completely turn that fight against you. We're seeing Central Michigan constantly shove this bot lane, and I'm really not sure about it because they don't have wards that deep. So I feel like they're just kind of asking to get caught out again, and at this point, their volume's pretty far behind. I'm thinking if you're Central Michigan, you're going to want to play around this top lane or maybe this mid, actually. Probably get Vlad ahead because Vlad is a very good champion to get ahead. And just kind of try to get your team back in the game, but B-Chill is just doing a great job of not letting Vlad... Oh!
Wow.
What a play.
Yeah.
As I said it.
Yep, absolutely. Just flashing forward with that, with the empowered auto attack. And now this is kind of the problem with having to get forced back on the Kale. As you notice, he's down about a level and a half there with level 5 to level 7. Getting close to level 6, but for now, he really needs to just stay back. And that's kind of where the issue falls, in that you need to be able to grab the ultimate. Nice dodge on the flash. Is he going to be able to trade this back? He is not going to be able to. Flash was just unavailable. I think it came up as the kill came through, but looking across, that's kind of the problem with falling behind, is that Shen has a nice, easy job of freezing the wave, and then Kale can't really step up and needs to at least get those cannon minions. So then when she steps up, she falls into the taunt range of the Shen, which kind of makes it a little bit difficult here. So unfortunate that ended up being played out that way, but I think Kale has a big wave here to get some of that gold back, and we'll see if IXI shot will be able to grab this back a little bit and even out that top lane a little bit more.
I think the good news for NIU too is that if Shen wants to use his ult, while Kale cannot stop him, then she just kind of gets free reign over lane to just farm up, which is really what Kale wants to do for a while. And also, since NIU does have the lead in the other lanes, I think they'll be able to hopefully put some pressure for Shen to maybe concede some of his lane to go help his other teammates to try to even it out. And if that's the case, then NIU can surely get ahead. And if not, then, if Shen wants to stay top lane and keep Kale from scaling, that's fine, because as long as NIU can push their lead that they currently have, then it's a net gain either way.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking across, we do see that Kale is just kind of trying to clear out or trying to keep farming this up, has to just kind of let the lane bounce, and you see this is kind of where that comes in, where, now Shen just doesn't really take much damage from those first couple auto attacks, and Kale early on in the game does not have a whole lot of damage on those autos. It's going to be, closer to level 11, level 13, where she has it. Now that's going to be the flash. It will be just enough to get out of there, and Sejuani does finish off the Drake along with Amumu and Kaisa while that fight was happening topside. But yeah, NIU now going to recall on the top lane here, and it will be the Rift Herald going over towards the side of the Vi here. There we go. We got that all started up, and yep, that'll be smited away and finished off here. So NIU will go ahead and just kind of keep farming these out. Does have, aside from the top lane, they do have a bit of a farm lead in each of the lanes. So gold, pretty well decided by these kills so far.
Yeah, so far not much happening as now it looks like Xanakin and Alex G-Dog are going to have a little skirmish. B-Chillin's coming by. It looks like they're going to drop onto Vi. We're going to see the ult come out of Shen, and IU's going to back off. But now that Vlad's in the fight, B-Chillin might be in trouble. He's getting ulted by Vi, grabbed by Shen, and I think that's going to be the end for, oh, almost good try. But unfortunately, NIU is going to get just collapsed on there with that Shen ult.
Yeah, it was a little bit of an overcommit. Once that Shen ult came through, they really needed to back away a little bit sooner, and unfortunately they weren't able to get quite there. But yeah, they do see that they do see the death in the mid lane here, so it does give one stack onto the Dark Seal here for the Vladimir. And what is that? Is that a That's a Avarice Blade or Executioner's Calling, sorry, by the Vi. That's an early pickup. Wow.
Yeah, I guess they're really not happy about the Aatrox and Kale pick. They're going to try to keep them down. It's not a bad idea to buy early anti-heal. It's actually a very good idea, especially if you're in lane usually. Not maybe as much jungler, but if you're ever leaning against someone like Vlad, Nasus, Aatrox, definitely look to pick up that early anti-heal, is because if you wait until the healing is too much of a problem, then it's too late to buy the anti-heal because it won't save you. And we're going to see B-Chillin get a nice start, but not able to continue the trade.
Yeah, not able to land the third hit there with the sweet spot. Now, Darkfire Phoenix is going to be in a bit of a spot there. Does get out of that one, but yeah, this is where Shen being so far ahead is going to come to cost NIU just a little bit here, as this could be Darkfire Phoenix potentially falling in this one. Nice flash to get out of it. Now B-Chillin is taken very low. Vi is just she is gonna have the ultimate to be able to use that, but it is gonna be NIU trading this on the bot lane. Nice ultimate there. The Void Seeker does land, and so it will be the ult coming through from Extra Reloaded. Does not get the second kill, but we'll see if they're able to grab this. This is gonna be the dash forward and the ultimate used by Xanakin. He'll go ahead and finish that one off, and so it'll be 2 kills traded back in the bot lane for NIU.
Yeah, they're going to get that Rift Herald off mid. That's going to kind of relieve the gold deficit a little bit, bringing it from about a 2k gold deficit to about a 1.5. So that's pretty good. Oh, a nice dodge by Kale there, but she's going to be in a bit of a weird spot here, as now that she can't get behind turret. Looks like she might be able to kite out Shen here, though. And Kale does not have flash. Shen does have flash if he really wants a hard commit. Kale is probably going to have to ult to get out of this one. Oh, maybe not. Great job, IXI shot to just kind of kite that out. What could have been easily a kill for Shen was traded. Not ideal, obviously, to get forced out of lane, but really it's one of those things, as long as you're not giving Shen any more kills, it's really the best case scenario at this point.
Yeah, is able to grab the boots now, so that's a good point to be in. One thing that is of note, looking across at the at where the items have been finished here, Vi has finished off that Kempunk Train Sword. It is also both of the mythics on the bot lane, and I use bot lane so far ahead that they've actually gotten both mythics, the Evan Shroud and the Kraken Slayer here. But we do see the mythic finished off for Shen. That's going to be the Heartsteel. That's a new one as well. We'll have to figure out what that one does at some point. But looking at it, one thing that also helps Shen in this matchup is the fact that Kale does not typically go for her mythic first. So typically as Kale, what you're going to build is you're going to be building the oh my goodness, I'm forgetting the name of the item.
Is it Bork?
No, not Bork. You typically don't go Bork. You go with the Nashor's Tooth. So typically you'll start up by grabbing your boots, then go into the Nashor's Tooth. When I used to play Kale, I liked to start with at least the first part of the mythic. It's kind of some people say you should start with the first part of the mythic. Some people say you just rush the entire Nashor's Tooth and then go for your mythic. But yeah, you want to go with the. You'll end up getting the Riftmaker at some point into the game, which will give a nice chunk of AP. So whenever you're hitting that third or the auto attacks and they're empowered, you're getting quite a bit of damage off on them. So always a fun one to play this matchup. And you see, it's really about being able to stay just at the edge of Kale's range and just staying out of the range of Shen. And it's a very fine line because I think it's something like 650 units versus 675. So you have to stay right on the edge of your auto attack range at all times against the Shen, which makes it, it's really fun to play the angles game there.
Yeah, something though I think we haven't thought about an angle here is that we have a 4-0-2 Kaisa right now. And as you can tell, she's doing big damage. Kale's ult, which makes someone invulnerable for a short time, can not only be used on herself, but it can also be used on a teammate. So a big Kale ult could be is if we see a Vi or Shen engage on Kaisa, you drop that Kale ult. I mean, it's very strong utility. So I think NIU, even if IXI doesn't scale to be a complete monster, he just still brings a lot of power and just utility to the table with Kale.
Yeah, I mean, even something like the Amumu going in and using his ultimate, you've got, you can use it very similarly to the old Oriana Ball delivery system. You can use the same thing with the Kale ult delivery system, which is always a fun way to play the game if you're able to get to that point. You just, like we said in chat, we get more. It was buffed this patch, so let's see some explosions, and that's exactly what you would see in that case. Heartsteel gives more health. Yeah, I would imagine that it is the mythic that gives more health. I'm not sure the passive that it has, so I'll have to check that out when we get breaking the action. As this is going to be chill and just full comboing on top of the Vladimir here for Darkfire Phoenix, and that'll be the kill going over towards him. That'll feel nice and as a second kill into the pocket of the Aatrox here. Now, Vi decides to take the fight here against the Sejuani, and with the stun and the bot lane for NIU roaming up, I'm not sure that was the right decision, and absolutely it is not, because Extra Reloaded is now going to be 5-0-2. Now, this is a level 11 Kale. Does get caught in the taunt, and so it will force the ultimate and potentially the flash if Shen does decide to keep going in. He does not, but does have to use the ultimate. But this is where you start to see Kale start to get quite a bit of power into that into those auto attacks with the waves that come through. Now, Kaisa's going to be following up. Buff Pillsbury Boy is going to actually nicely trade it on the aggro by all three of the members there. NIU will not lose anybody, and that is a fantastic turret dive. Buff Pillsbury Boy and Xanakin both coming within one turret shot of dying. Extra Reloaded tanks the last one, and so that'll be 2 kills going over towards the bot lane of NIU, and that is Central Michigan having nothing to be able to do about it.
Yeah, NIU's looking like they're going to start running away with this one. They got 2 Drakes. Looks like the next Drake's going to be up in about 1:40. They got a 5k gold lead, roughly. Now you got Kale in that mid lane. I actually like that. Kale's going to get a little more XP in mid lane, and I think with the Vlad, I think Kale will actually have a pretty good time fighting the Vlad, because if the Vlad doesn't want to take fights, he just wants to Sanguine Pool away anytime, you're going to engage on him. That's fine. Kale will just take this, the CS, just keep leveling up. That's all she needs. And now she's 11. I think if we get Kale a kill or 2, she's going to start being a complete menace this game. And NIU's just going to start taking control of this board, I think, is what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to aggress a little, take this mid turret especially, just kind of crack open each side.
Yeah, nicely done. That is a really nice bandage toss over the wall, and I don't think they're going to be able to follow that up. But this is kind of... Kale does have the Nashers too, so she can really trade back here. And you see, once Shen runs out of auto attacks to be able to do and has to back away, Kale can just follow that up with about half his health bar, and that'll only become more and more dangerous as the Riftmaker comes into play, especially once those self-heals are online. Now, yeah, probably going to have to walk around the wall there, especially with Alex G-Dog coming in. But it will be enough to Kale just backs away, grabs some more of the wave, and so this is already NIU with 2 Drakes stacked and another 23 seconds before the third one spawns. Now this is going to be the ultimate used from the Shen. They're not going to be able to get the kill before the ult does come through, but now that's going to be NIU diving on towards the back line, and it doesn't really matter if Shen's there if you're just able to dive past him, as NIU will be able to grab 2. The teleport did come through here from IXI shot, and now NIU is going to be chasing them down. They're not going to be able to grab the slow here, but they do miss that knock-up, but they are going to be able to grab the one here. That's going to be the flash forced, but here comes Vi. NIU may look to re-engage. They do just clear out this wave, but now we do see that Vlad is staying a little too far forward. Sanguine Pool used. Going to have to force the flash as well. And NIU will now back off and just go for this Drake and put themselves on a Hextech Soul Point.
Yeah, Vlad flew a little too close to the sun there. He went back in. I'm not really sure why. I think he was just trying to collect the minion wave. You know, you always want to be collecting those minions, not fall too far behind. And now Aatrox takes away the Blast Fan. It does look like Vi's going to contest, so Central Michigan's going to seed this Drake. And now they're on Soul Point. So NIU has a lot of leeway here. They could just give up the next Drake to go take Baron and probably come close to ending this game. Though it does look like Central Michigan also had to drop a Rift, and it's probably not going to get anything now. So
Yeah.
that's not ideal for them. They're starting to fall really far behind at this point. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to, if they have many avenues to really take this game back.
No, they luckily for them, they did grab both of the Rift Heralds, but that second one definitely used in desperation, just trying to crack open these turret bounties, and not able to grab that one. So it will be NIU just continuing to scale up, and look at that. Now we've got the that's going to be the Amp Tome and the Ruby Crystal already finished off here by the Kale, and this is where, you know, level 13's coming up. You've got a bunch of you're almost to the Rift Maker, or at least the first component to it. And as Kale, you're feeling pretty good only having the one death, because you can definitely start to scale in and just back off of these waves, clear them out real quick, you know, just start kiting them back. And there, you know, it doesn't really seem like it's a whole lot of damage, but that's because that's just the waves hitting the Shen. Now, that's going to be the ultimate used, and nicely done actually to proc it, keep that from happening, as the Vi did use the ultimate, but it doesn't really matter. NIU is able to grab one back. That is going to be Shen able to just grab enough damage up on the top lane that he's able to trade one back, but it is going to be NIU turning that one around in the mid lane and grabbing a kill for themselves. They will back the Sejuani, taken very low, but it does look like they may look to grab this Baron as they're roaming up towards it. Obviously, with Sejuani not quite there yet, they can't start it up yet, and it will be Central Michigan checking for vision on that one, excuse me, and we'll have to see how they want to go about that one, as they do just fish for some more vision. I think NIU decided wisely that they probably need to take this mid-tier 1 before they go for Baron, but overall, it is just a cross-map 1-for-1 in the play.
Yeah, at this point, if you're NIU, I mean, all you gotta do is make sure you're not making too big of mistakes. Now, you do need to keep in mind you got people like Kai'Sa's got a 700 gold bounty. You don't want to be feeding that to anyone, especially not Vlad or Xayah. It's just one of those things I think, as long as they don't misplay anything too bad, this game should be in the bag. Of course, you know, maybe Central Michigan's got some stuff up their sleeve, but it looks like we're just going to kind of pressure mid lane. It looks like Kill's just going to get free reign over bot lane, and if she just can shove that, though it looks like Vlad might be rotating down to meet her. If NIU forces a 1-3-1, I think they're going to win most of these 1v1s, though Shen is a bit of a force to be reckoned with. He's probably the scariest person right now. Looks like Xanakin and Beachhill might 2v2. It looks like everyone's just kind of posturing themselves, but nothing really doing it.
Yeah, but it did force the ghost off of Alex G-Dog there, so it was nicely done by Xanakin here on the Sejuani, able to grab a nice chunk of damage on towards Alex G-Dog. Now, this is a little bit risky if you're Vladimir. I know you have the pool, but not quite sure why you're going for this one. And now,
Ooh.
this is a lot of damage. That's going to be Kale just getting the solo kill. And that's what I'm talking about. You know, you don't really want to disrespect the range that comes with the empowered auto attacks. Once that Kale is getting the exalted autos at level 11 or higher, that extra range, the 625 instead of 575, I should say, is pretty nasty by this Kale. And now that's going to be another 600 gold in the Kale's pocket. Looking at the NIU is going to start up this Baron, while the side of Central Michigan just has to answer the Kale on the bot lane. So this will be a free Baron. It does look like Braum might get there to check on it. Not even close. NIU gets that for free, and that is going to balloon this 9,500 gold lead into something even larger. And NIU even taking that at just the right time to where now they can set up for this Soul Point. And I don't really think, since there's still a minute on the Drake, that I don't really think there's any avenue for Central Michigan to contest it.
Honestly, at this point, I think if you're NIU, you could probably just force 4 mid, 1 top, and just kind of end the game. Looks like Aatrox is just going to back. You know, why risk it? Looks like he knew everyone was rotating up. And I mean, you got a 7-0 Kai'Sa. Kale just came online. She's got a nice big gold lead. She's got her mythic now. I mean, at this point, I think if you're NIU, just you could force the issue, especially with that Baron, or they might take it the more conservative route, which is probably the more smarter thing to do in a competitive setting, and just kind of force the Drake point, get all the buffs.
Now, Tim, we're showing on the broadcast. Obviously, you guys can see the gold differences here, but let's go ahead and look at this. So, Kale is finally up gold, which we said would happen at some point, but right as this dragon is about to spawn, like I said, I think this is going to be NIU just forcing this. We'll go to it in just a second if need be, but that is a 1,500 gold lead in the jungle, a 900 gold lead in the mid lane, a 4,500 gold lead in the ADC position. Now, this is Vladimir actually jumping on extra loaded, but it is just going to be traded back as Kale is going to be able to get a lot of damage on, and you can't actually get both of the damage carries here from NIU. In fact, you can't get any of them. That's going to be the clean ace over from NIU. They'll grab the dragon, and just enough with the ultimate there from Kale, and so NIU will just leave the Sejuani to finish this one off. They'll go ahead and push down the mid lane, push down the bot lane, and that is pretty much all she wrote. I don't think you can end before they respawn, but definitely looking like a very clean game here from NIU. Gold bounties on everybody, even the sport having a 300 gold bounty because he is up, Buff Pillsbury Boy, up about 2,500 gold on this Amumu now. So absolutely a great game. Just look at those items. That is a 3.5 item Kaisa against a 2-item Zaya. That is a crazy lead that you see in the bot lane there for NIU. And they will grab 2 inhibitor turrets and 1 inhibitor in the mid lane. And they may just be looking for more as they're trying to force the issue here in the bot lane to grab that second inhibitor.
Yeah, I mean, you got that Baron. Honestly, the Shen ult's not going to go off. Well, it does go off. Gives the shield. Not enough, though. Oh, Kale going to get rooted under turret. And Shen's going to hunt her down, but probably at the cost of the rest of his team. I just think at this way, I think it's pretty safe to call it GG. If you're Central Michigan, you just got to regroup. Think about what you can do better next game. It's just one of those things that you're just gonna have to, try something different, I think.
Yeah, I mean, valiant effort by Shen does grab a couple of kills there, but doesn't really matter in the end. 25-6, a 14,000 gold lead, and NIU takes game number 1. We'll move on to game number 2 very shortly here, but until then, we will let you know when we're into game number 2, and enjoy the quick break. Well, that was a quicker game or break than I thought it would be. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are into a champ select for game number 2. And actually, NIU going to go right back towards the blue side of the map here. So, or sorry, towards the red side. I'm wrong again. So, but looking at it here, it is going to be the Lulu band once again from Central Michigan, as you guys see. So nothing new about that. Caitlin once again going to be banned away here by NIU. So things look pretty standard here, and I'm curious to see what Central Michigan changes up for game number 2.
Yeah, if you're Central Michigan here, you gotta be looking, what do you ban out? Looks like they have the first same 2 bans. I swear, if that third ban is Rumble, I want to see the Rumble. Like, I want to see the Rumble in the jungle. We haven't gotten it. Everyone just bans it. Like, what's so bad? What's so scary? I just want to see it so bad.
The mid lane Rumble. Mid lane Rumble.
Is it mid lane Rumble? Okay, well, it doesn't matter.
I mean, be chilling. I'm not going to make the same joke I made on Saturday right now, but these are the same bands. We're running it back. Let's see what they want to do. Oh, okay. So something's different here, and that something is that the Amumu has been taken away. So, and are you going to have to go a different direction here in the jungle? It will be the Amumu, or actually not even in the jungle because they played it support. This is going to be the Sejuani potentially locked in as the answer. Anakin looking very comfortable on that champion in the last game. But no, here's the hover of the Nami. Are they going to do it? Lock it in. There it is. And if that's going to be picked up, you have to imagine this is going to be a Lucian here. Not going to risk that being taken away in that case. I like the spam of the NIU, the Legacy logo. Keep spamming it. Keep that spam going. We like it. Sejuani now going to be hovered, and it is going to be picked up. So is NIU not worried about the fact that that Central Michigan could potentially pick this up? I mean, we had the we need the Doggers emote back. That is still there. Doggers emote is still in the chat. You just have to be subscribed to Twitch Prime, and I believe it's either level 1 or level 2. So we'll get that all figured out, and there might be a way that we get it to a lower level. So if you guys really want that emote here in the chat, spam the Legacy logo and let me know, and we'll see what we can do about getting you guys the Doggers back. Zaya going to be locked in for NIU. What's that again?
We need a Mission 3 emote now.
I know. We got to get one now that Mission 3's here.
Get 'em.
It's a tier 2 sub. Ooh, yeah. Okay. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out for you guys. Nautilus and Lucian going to be locked in. So Lucian, I mean, taken away by Central Michigan, which is always something that you expect. But Nautilus not necessarily something that pairs super well with Lucian, so I'm interested to see how that goes. Looking at it, though, we are going to see the Zaya locked in for the side of NIU and getting that one as well.
Yeah, so far we've gotten the exact same bans, I think. Oh, no, but NIU's going to ban Shen this time. So we're going to change it up a little bit. We don't want to deal with Shen again. I'm interested to see, I was going to see, I was wondering if we're going to see Kale again, but we are certainly not, as Central Michigan is not dealing with that again. So, we've kind of done some pick swapping here. NIU taking up Zaya from Central Michigan, and Central Michigan taking our Amumu. And I guess we'll see what NIU's going to be picking next. Probably going to be a mid pick, is my guess. And now that Annie's off the board and Nivea's off the board, Rumble, and we're going to get the Corky back. We got a little glimpse of Corky last Saturday. If you had missed it, well, you're going to get to experience it now. The champion that's over a decade old and also a very scary late-game scaler.
It certainly is, and it's a real fun champ here to see.
Ooh.
Are we seeing the Master of Shadows? We are. This is interesting because we don't see Zed very often. He is definitely a solo queue type of champion. You don't see him in comp very much anymore because, let's be honest, there's a lot of counters to Zed. Or actually, no, there's not a lot of counters to Zed. There is one counter to Zed, and it's entirely too abundant in the game, and that is stopwatch. You just sit there, he ults you, you stopwatch. And you know what? You don't want to buy a stopwatch? take it in your runes. You got perfect
Yeah.
timing. So there's a lot of ways to counter the Zed. We'll have to see if NIU is able to pick them up. But Mordekaiser, he's an interesting lock here. We'll see where NIU wants to. Is that a Yone counter to the Mordekaiser?
I
It
don't know. I don't know how I
looks
feel about
like it.
Yon.
And it is going to be locked in. What an interesting pick. So we have seen a couple of different carry champions come through in the top lane. And this is going to be a very interesting one. So yeah, we're definitely interested with this one, how it's going to play out. But make doggers free and you'll sub. I'll work a deal with you. How about we see? I don't know Twitch Prime rules well enough to see if we can do multiple tier 1 subs, but I will see if there's a way to potentially get it as a tier 1 sub. We just to kind of help you guys out with it. We'll see what we can do. But in the meantime, looking at this draft, it's again pretty spicy from NIU. But the one thing that I'm not 100% sure I like about the draft is that's a pretty tanky team from Central Michigan with the Mordekaiser, the Amumu, the Nautilus to go with this Zed and Lucian. And the side of NIU has Sejuani as their only tank. So we'll have to see how that one plays out. But with Central Michigan, you've got Mordekaiser as your main AP threat. You got some AP on the Amumu, but you're not going to be getting that from Zed or Lucian. And NIU has a good mix of damages. So each team might be lacking a little bit in one area or the other. We'll have to see what goes on with that.
Yeah, I gotta say, I kind of hate the champion Yon. One of the first champions I picked up was Anivia because I thought she was cool. Ice Bird looks awesome, and I had nightmares against playing Yasuo, right? And then Riot comes out and announces they're releasing his brother, and it's like, oh boy, it's Yasuo but worse. Admittedly, recently, I don't think in the last season Yon has been too meta, so I don't think I've seen a Yon a little bit. I'm admittedly not sure how this matchup's gonna play out. But Yon, even if you don't do great in lane, his team fighting just because of his R ability, it's a wide cone of a knockup. It's just very strong. And I think either way, NIU is going to get some nice utility out of that. It could probably be used as a pretty solid peel for Corki or Zaya late game. I guess the one thing there's two good things I'm concerned about, right? Say you get Corki or Zaya ahead. You have the Zed to deal with, which Zaya has her R, and Corki can get stopwatch, I suppose. But it's not ideal to have to be forced to use your cooldowns on that. But then even if you dodge the Zed ult, there's also more to possibly grab you. So I think Central Michigan here went with a lot of shutdown potential. They really, if NIU starts getting that ahead, they don't want to let that through again. They don't want another, Kale or Kaisa start dishing out big damage. I think they're just planning on kind of CCing you, and the best CC is to just death, really. But
Yeah, no, I have to agree with that one. We're gonna see how that one plays out, but yeah, lots of we got a lot of different things to work on here. We'll have to see how this one plays out, but it is a very different look from game number one. Like we said, keep your calendars marked going through the things that we went through between the champ select and the game for game number one. Do keep in mind that we've got Huskies United coming up across the university. That's going to be March 22nd, 23rd. Check out the website. It's going to be DOG or Day of Giving .niu.edu. And then for NIU esports specifically, it's going to be dog.niu.edu/NIU esports. Makes it very interesting. Makes it very good to know. All right, looking as well, we've got looks like maybe is that the doc? Kind of looks like the doc has been spammed in chat. Dr. Disrespect, but anyway, we don't have time for that. We've got a game to cast, and yeah, we'll see how this one goes. Hopefully, NIU can finish this one up in two, because like I said at the beginning of game one, my throat is starting to go, and so we definitely don't want to go. I mean, if we have to, we'll go to a game three, but we'll have to see. Once again, another Zaya without her Rakan, and with Valentine's Day, these people are just the teams are just really. They're making me sad because it's Valentine's Day tomorrow. You got to get the two of them together. So
yeah, it's breaking my heart a little bit. I mean, we did get to see Braum, and Braum. I mean, how can you not love the guy? But I mean, it's not for Zaya. It's her, hers truly is for Khan. So it's just sad. But we got Lucian and Nautilus, and they could probably make a cute couple.
Absolutely. There you go. Um, I like it. Coach Bradley jumping into the chat. Bebo, we win 100% of champ selects. There you go.
Oh, they invade. We're seeing the cheeky plays now.
Yep, this is going to be the side of, Broccoli says they didn't win it. Well, we'll have to see how this one goes. Looking across, let's go through what we do at the beginning of every game. We're going to go through the runes, the summoner spells, that sort of thing. It is going to be the Infernal Drake to start us off, so that's going to be an interesting one. Probably going to be a lot of contest over that one. But it's going to be teleports in the top lane, smites in the jungle, very similar. Corki always takes the teleport anyway, so that's just common. With the Ignite for Zed, so he's definitely going for kill pressure. Both ADCs going with the Cleanse, and then the Ignite for the Nautilus. We do see the exhaust coming through from Buff Pillsbury Boy on this Zaya. Or sorry, on this Nami. My apologies. Going through the runes, we see Conquer on Mordekaiser, Conquer on Amumu. That's, again, not very standard, but, it works. You see the Electrocute on the Zed. You see the Press the Attack for Lucian, and then Aftershock for the Nautilus. On the side of NIU, Lethal Tempo on the Yone, Aftershock on Sejuani. First Strike for Corki. That is Lethal Tempo for the Zaya, and Summon Airy on the Nami.
Yeah, once again, nothing too crazy. Extra loaded on NIU side, picking up a Cleanse. Lucian also running Cleanse. Not a bad idea against the Knot and the Amumu, just you don't want to get bogged down too much. Of course, Zaya does have her ultimate to kind of dodge things, but it's a big cooldown, and it's very valuable, so you don't want to use it unless you have to. Looks like an early trade for a lot of lanes. Mid lane, Corki getting poked down a little bit. NIU getting pressured pretty hard in this bot lane. I think NIU definitely doesn't have an early game comp, except for maybe Yon, who's, oh my goodness, he's going in. Does he have it?
Flashes forward. He's got the damage, and he's done it. First blood for NIU up in the top lane. What a play.
I'd like to apologize for IXI shot that I ever doubted you. Obviously, I was naive.
It's the Charles Barkley apology all over again. I want to apologize to anybody that I've doubted in the past. And you know what? So Mordekaiser teleported back in, but IXI shot wants that smoke. He's going to go ahead and go back in, and unfortunately just doesn't have the damage. But you know what? Almost had it, and almost that was a nice 2-0 start. Would have been a great way to start the game here on that Yone. Unfortunately, not quite the execution that they wanted, but they go ahead and they grab the kill, traded back and forth, and the teleport probably going to be expended. No, actually, he'll just walk back to. Wow, Darkfire Phoenix actually able to grab that one. Was the Electrocute proc that landed and got the kill. So across the board, this is already a pretty bloody game. Just pretty crazy there that we've got that one going. And now we will see Corki going to step back in a lane. This is a Sejuani stepping over a ward, but with the dive forward, I don't know. Darkfire Phoenix going to have to flash to get out of that one. Nicely done by him, but NIU, nicely done to force the flash. And if you notice, because of that first blood going over towards NIU, you do see that the gold is actually dead even here, even with the extra kill on the side of Central Michigan.
Yeah, NIU also got a little bit of a CS lead bot side. Man, Corki, the way his character moves around is so weird. It's so dated. Corki is an ancient champion. You gotta talk to the grandpas of League, the grandmas and grandpas of League, if you wanna hear stories of whimsical and wonder with him. But I just gotta say, I'm hoping we pull about a kill per minute this game. Because last game was a little bit of a snooze fest until about 10 minutes. So I'm hoping we just see some action. As I say that, IXI just putting in the pressure, Zed going in. Not much doing bot lane this time. Looks like top and mid are going to be our sources of entertainment.
Well, as you say that, NIU does set up for a gank, but not able to get on that one. There is a ward there in the bush. So actually yes, there is. No, there's not. My bad. So yeah, actually just kind of... Oh, I see. So it was just over the Dragon Pit. Now that's a nice flash forward from the Sejuani. The stun does come through, and there is no flash, remember, from this from the Zed, and B-Chillin is,
Oh.
actually just going to take too many turret shots, so that will be traded right back. Unfortunate on the dive, not quite getting out of that one alive, but it does give 1 kill back to the Corki. You want to at least get him starting on the scaling, so it's always a fun one there with the Corki. So I am one of those grandmas and grandpas of the league that definitely plays the Corki. Always a fun one. You got to get the Corki. You know, my favorite skin out of there. If you have UFO Corki, though, if you got UFO Corki, then you are an OG of League of Legends. I don't have that, but Corki, very fun. Just flying around in his little flying saucers, playing and throwing little bombs at you. Always a fun champ to play around with. But yeah. NIU definitely, so whereas last game you saw a lot of lane prio for the side of NIU, you're seeing the exact opposite this game. Almost all lanes are prio towards the Central Michigan side this time, and now this could be the engage coming through from NIU up in the top side. Now, actually, bot lane's going to be traded right back, and Zaya could be grabbing this one. That's going to be forcing the cleanse out of that. So actually, turning the 3v2 around. And top lane, we'll see if they want to go in on this one. Mordekaiser is just going to get the recall off, so the play won't go any further. And it is going to be the side of Central Michigan that sets up for this Infernal Drake, although it does not look like they're going to start it. And so, I said that there would probably be a high prio on this early Infernal, and now neither team has gone for it. So, that just shows us our predictive powers. They are... we're not going to be playing the lottery anytime soon.
Oh, no. I mean, so something I just noticed is when you see that Zed roam, and something I didn't really think about is that one of the valuable things that Zed brings, especially in solo queue, like you mentioned, is just his ability to roam and make plays bot side. Corki, not as much known as a roamer, just not quite there, and especially with Zed's ultimate, I mean, he can be difficult to deal with. And while Zaya does have maybe her ultimate to dodge it, Nami does not, for example. So you just gotta be watching out if you're NIU's bot lane, get those deep wards, which they do have right now if you see in the river. So excellent plays by them, or excellent awareness. But it's just something you got to keep in mind for, and that we'll have to be looking out for the rest of this game.
Yeah, that perfect timing is getting closer to being online. It starts at 12 minutes, I believe, at this point, and does get some time off every time you get a kill or an assist. And so that was one of the other parts of the kill going over towards Corki. Even if he died, that was more valuable, is he does have that stopwatch getting closer to online. A lot of damage coming through from Mordekaiser, so that's not quite the Q you want if you're the Yone, although the Q does not land for Mordekaiser either, so it will just be the passive proc there from him. And it does look like NIU may look to go towards this bot lane. There is a ward in the tri-bush, so Central Michigan does know this is happening, but NIU then just decides to put some wards down and potentially start up this dragon anyway. Yeah, I mean, you're getting very close as well as the stopwatch. You're getting very close to having the Corki package available, which will if you try to play your objectives around the Corki package, you pretty much secure them because you can just add this zone of control. And NIU does start up this Infernal Drake, so they'll have that in their pocket, a little bit of extra damage to play out these fights.
Yeah, I like that early. Oh, it looks like we're going to go and going to get Not on the ultimate. Lucian's going to ult back, and we're going to get the flash out of Not. So, bit of trading. NIU does force out the flash. One ult for one ult. Looks like otherwise, NIU also got the Drake, which is honestly just always good to get a first Drake. A little bit of a stat boost, but more or less it also just sets you up to, for example, if you fall behind, you don't have to be forced to contest rates as much. As IXI shot's going to take a little trade with Mord. He might be forced to back off the wave here just in the risk that Mord ults him, which you don't want to get ulted by Mord. He steals your stats and forces you into that 1v1.
Yeah, it does look like the side of Central Michigan is going to start up this Rift Herald, although NIU may look for a steal here. That's a nice little trade going through from Yone. Not going to use the ultimate. I think that might have been an overcommit. The Rift Herald does get picked up, though, by the Amumu. So looking at it, he's a little bit behind on the farming. 20 stacks on his Moss Stomper to the 17 for Sejuani here by Zanakin. But overall, nicely done to at least get the objective, trade that back for the Drake that NIU had taken earlier. Now that's going to be the full combo, and actually that is just going to be the damage coming through from the Yone, and that is his second solo kill of the game. IXI shot piloting this Yone in a very, very nice fashion. Riley's Crystal Scepter already finished by the Mordekaiser, but that just delays all of his Riftmaker timings, and so it is just going to be the continued delay on that, which gives Yone more time to scale.
Corky just teleported to NIU's bot tier 1 turret, and I maybe he's doing that for a lane gank. I'm really not sure why he did that.
So
might have been a misclick. I'm not sure.
I think what he was trying to do was since he had the package, he was trying to not waste the time on it. And so he was going to potentially gank through their jungle and then go for the bot lane gank and cut off the bot lane from Central Michigan here. Unfortunately for NIU, Corky didn't quite get that done in time, and so it meant that there wasn't enough time to get down there. Now, this is the potential engage, and they could cut off the Mordekaiser here. There's going to be the ultimate. Oh, just barely mistimed, and it means that he won't be knocked back towards the Yone. Although Yone could still potentially get this. There is going to be the damage. And, oh, just the last part of the Q. There's going to be the ultimate here, going to be flashed away from. The damage will come through, and there's the ultimate from Alex G-Dog. Now we're going to see a fight in the bot lane. That's going to be one going over towards NIU, potentially a second. There it is. B-Chillin grabs the first or the kill up in the top lane, and NIU just clean it up. They've got 4 for 1, and the extended fight here. Now they'll potentially get even more down in the bot lane, although they do have to be careful of who's taking turret aggro here. Now it is going to be started off, and Xayah gonna grab the damage. Will take it back, and the Ignite does land, but it will be NIU getting the delayed ace with the fight there, and just losing 1 in the process.
Yeah, excellent play by NIU all around, just kind of fighting all at the same time, making it hard for us to announce it, but that's what you like to see. Is a great job. Corky showing up and helping out Mord. Something I did notice is Mord now has somewhat closed the gap, but he was down 2 levels actually with Yone during that fight. And even with his ult and being under tower, he wasn't able to prevail. NIU also having a great play bot lane, and at a 3v3, they were able to pick off all 3 without a single person dying. They even had a good time trading aggros. Now Yone and Mord are going to go into a 1v1 in the mid lane. Zed is going to come over, so Yone might have to watch out because Zed ult could be big. But oh, the big Yone ult!
That's actually really well played to be able to turn that around. Now, actually, Sejuani. Oh my goodness, that is just hero plays from Sejuani. Able to knock the Zed out of his shadow dash forward, which meant that. So, I'm interrupting myself, but it's important here. So, the thing that I'm saying is Zed, when he uses his shadow, his W, is not it is not a blink. It is a dash. So it is interruptible. That being said, Sejuani was able to use her Q to dash forward, block Zed from continuing, because if he had dived forward any further, he may have been able to grab the kill on towards Yone. So that was just a really good play by NIU, and this is also a really good play where they're just able to grab the full damage. That's just going to be the double kill over towards Xayah, and NIU starting to run away with this one. The bot lane starting to get super far ahead once again. You see extra loaded now sitting on he's sitting on 1,000 gold in his pocket, but he's up 6,000 gold to 4,000 at 14 minutes. He has a 2,000 gold lead just of his own, as well as the oh, there it is. There's the stopwatch. It is just enough to get out is the Zed, but it still means that Corky does live through that one. So really nicely done. Now is able to get the he's 306 stacks on the Manamune, or the Mermana. So he will be very close to that one. And yeah, I mean, this is just NIU feeling real good about this. The 0-0-8 jungler here for Zanakin on that Sejuani. Overall, NIU in a very nice spot in this game.
Yeah, this actually, if you didn't catch last week, the second game on Saturday, it was almost a similar story. You know, NIU was kind of going even. Actually, they were a little bit down against Sleeto on their second game for a minute, and then over the course of 2 minutes, we went from being, you know, about even to just utterly just in control of the game, and that's kind of what happened here. I believe it was about 2 minutes. We went from roughly even in gold, maybe up about 200 gold or so. We're now up to a 7,000 gold lead just a series of fantastic plays by NIU.
And here's going to be IXI shot going in once again. 2-level advantage. That's going to be the ult. Now that's just the kill. Nothing that Delirious can do with that one. And that is now the third, I believe, solo kill for IXI shot in this game. And he is running away with the game on this Yone pick. So, absolute masterclass from NIU. Absolutely there, Bebo. You know, I like tooting your own horn a little bit, and that I'll take it. You know what? I think you get credit here. This was a draft gap and a execution draft, or an execution gap as well. 6-0 and 0 on this Zaya now for Extra Loaded, and definitely just continuing to push the issue forward with this one.
Yeah, we gotta be. I think someone we've been overlooking recently is Buff Pillsbury Boy. Just absolute fantastic job on Nami. I've seen some great ults, some huge knockups earlier in the game to get us that big gold lead. And I just want to, gotta give him a little shout out. You can't let him go fall by the wayside.
Absolutely, you hit the nail on the head there. The unsung hero of the game often is the jungler and the support here. NIU, Extra Loaded is sitting on a ward, but the ult does come through just to make sure that the extra damage can't land. Now that's going to be the cleanse of the damage from it, and what a play!
What a knockup by Nami. That's what we're talking about.
There you go. Yeah, Nami just saving her support. Buff Pillsbury Boy just putting on a master class on this Nami game after game. And, you got to give it to him. His Enchanter play has been fantastic, just keeping Extra Loaded alive long enough to be able to dish out the damage, and just what a play. Just the slight mechanical outplays that were part of that are just such an illustration of the strengths of NIU here. You saw the cleanse of the Ignite damage, so you can cleanse the damage, but you can't cleanse the heal reduction, I believe, or maybe it's the opposite way. But regardless, whichever one he cleansed and was able to get out of the CC at the same time, and then just gets enough separation to be able to land that bubble, does Nami, and overall just such a fantastic play across the board by NIU. This is now an 11,000 gold lead at 17.5 minutes. NIU putting on quite the show. And you got to hand it to them. They are finding their footing, and this is just going to be another one as they're going to now, they choose to go for the Nautilus first. Actually, it's a split focus, and now with the speed area here, I don't know, the zone of control or whatever you want to call it, that's actually going to be stolen away by Sejuani. And now Sejuani says, you know what, I'll fight two of you at the same time. And at the same time, IXI Shot's going to go for another solo kill, and he's going to grab that. Now it's going to be another kill up towards the down on the bot side, as that's going to be Sejuani and Nami grabbing one there. And across the board, oh no, he canceled the back. Oh no, I'm sorry, Zed. That's one of those where, you're just fishing with a Q. You say, maybe I'll hit it, maybe I won't. And then Zed's like, yeah, I got the recall. I got it, guys, as Nautilus is going to fall in the turret. And at 18 minutes, NIU is already threatening the base, and I really don't think that this Herald might actually be able to end it. Now, the big one's going to land here, and there it is. B-Chillin's going to grab another kill on towards this Amumu. That's going to be the inhibitor tier 1, or the inhibitor tier, just the tier 3 inhibitor turret is going to drop as well as the inhibitor turret here in the bot lane. And oh no. Oh man. I mean, good for us, good for NIU, but you just hate to see it. Lucian was putting in the damage on that Rift Herald, and as the last shot, like his last auto attack was in the air, it was flying. You watched it. It was cinematic. You could slow it down and just watch it fly towards this Rift Herald. And the Rift Herald said, it said, I'm not going down without a fight. And it went one last charge and took out 3/4 of the health of that Nexus turret.
Oh.
I mean, if you're a Central Michigan fan, you hate to see that it still got off that charge even with that auto attack in the air. But as an NIU fan, you love to see that one. It's just going to help them end this game just even a little bit quicker. And 15,000 gold lead. Oh no, that's an ult over the wall. That is a stolen blue buff. Or no, actually he didn't even get the blue buff, but doesn't matter. He'll just go ahead and take that solo kill. He'll say, you know what, guys, let's start this Baron. We got this. positioning with it. He's got the blue buff. You know what? He's got such low cooldowns, he could just start it himself. He's going to go ahead and do that, and now the rest of NIU will jump over and help him out with this one. This will be the Baron going over towards NIU, 22-4 at 20 minutes on spawn. They'll go ahead and start that up. Not really anything that Central Michigan can do. NIU could lose this first Cloud Drake. They don't really care, to be honest. It's not going to do a whole lot for Central Michigan. In fact, Central Michigan doesn't even look towards it. There's going to be the package just to chase this. Oh, no. He threaded it over the wall.
That
what
damage.
a game. That's Corky for you. This man, he's level 14. That's a level 10 Lucian. IXI Shot says, I don't want to wait any longer. He's just going to teleport into the base and start taking this top lane. They have the wave. They have the damage. They have the levels. And NIU has the match. They're just going to walk down the mid lane. They're going to take all 3 inhibitors, make sure they have the double waves of supers. It won't really matter in the end. It will be the game. It'll be the match. And this is NIU now on a 2-match winning streak. And ladies and gentlemen, don't look now, but the team that started 0-3 on the season is 2-3 and is right back to, they have a chance on Wednesday to make it to 500. Mordekaiser going to go ahead and try to grab B-Chillin with the flash over that one, and going to be kept alive. What a play to be able to get the kills out of there. Mordekaiser will drop, and the rest of the side of, they just look for one. Zed flashes forward just to try to get the kill on towards B-Chillin. B-Chillin's going to kite it out. Now NIU's going to look for more. They're going to grab a double kill on towards the Nami. That's going to be the ace. And NIU, 29-4 in 21 minutes, will end up taking this one, going 2-0 and winning the match, winning the game, and moving to 2-3 on the season. So a really, really well-played game. We're going to go for just a second, but give us just don't leave quite yet, because it's just about two and a half, somewhere around there minutes. We're gonna have an interview. So we didn't get the chance on Saturday because of the technical issues, but one of the traditions here at NIU is we get a post-game interview every time there's a victory in League of Legends. So we're gonna go ahead and grab that post-game interview, but we got to get that all set up. So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, everybody, we are back, and we're going to get into the interview. And joining us today is going to be Logan IXI Shot, IXI top laner here, and one of the fantastic top laners that we have here for NIU. We are running that six-man roster, so we'll have him join on in, and we're going to go ahead and join on in right now. So hopefully, barring any technical difficulties, you guys can hear this one. But yeah, here we go.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear
I,
us?
yes, I can.
Awesome. Well, congrats on the win here, Logan. And what an awesome performance there on both the Kale and the Yone. I mean, not something that we would have expected going in, but you put on the master class there with multiple solo kills in each of the games. So how's it feel to obviously you guys got the win on Saturday as well, but how's it feel to be in the win column now?
It feels pretty great. Like it's awesome to show that I'm good enough to do this, and it's really fun to be able to play with my teammates and just prove that we're good enough.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that answer, and I mean, it is always great to be able to prove yourself here on the on stage, quote unquote, but in the ESC matchups. Um, Tim, what question do you have
Yeah,
for?
so Mr. Logan, I want to take us back to your first game. You're on Kale. You're going up against Shen. He's right now the most fed person on the team, and you're a little bit behind. And so you brought yourself back into the game. What was your game plan there? And how does it how do you think about it going in when you got Shen a little bit ahead, you're behind? What's the thought process? What was your plan to get yourself back into this game?
Uh, Honestly, it was just to keep farming because Kale is a very late game champion. So honestly, I just went in thinking I know I'm already gonna get bullied off a lot of the waves. I'm always gonna struggle with this matchup, but as long as I keep farming and I keep staying consistent, it's okay if I die once or twice, but as I keep farming, I'll be okay and I can get back into the game. And as shown, we did get back into the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was, I Tim and I were talking about it on the broadcast that's exactly how you wanted to play that matchup. I mean, I know that Shen and Kale is a tough matchup for the Kale early, but towards the end you could start running down the Shens. So, absolutely saw that go on, and you know, congrats to you on being able to accomplish that. Um, you know, looking across this entire season, I have two questions to come out of this, but we'll start with the first one, which is uh, this is your first semester on the NIU varsity team. So, we had some changes in the roster during the winter break, and so you came on, and as I understand it, you're swapping roles. You're finding yourself as now this top laner when that's not necessarily your primary role in the past. So what did it how did it feel to come into this team kind of late, but then how quickly were you guys able to come together as a team? And it seems like there's this awesome team dynamic. So just would you mind speaking to that a little bit?
Honestly, I was very nervous going into it all. It was a new challenge, something I wasn't necessarily entirely comfortable taking on, but I wanted to take it on because I know how awesome the other guys are, especially like our coach, and I wanted to prove that I could also do this. It was honestly very difficult, but at the start, and I felt like in the first maybe day or two, we really struggled to kind of get that synergy going. But after a few days, like I started to really gel, and everything kind of fit into place. And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. I really enjoy it.
Absolutely. And I would say the second part of my question here, it speaks more to the team as a whole, but obviously this is a new roster. None of the players from previous years for NIU are on this roster this year. Fresh set of players. It can be intimidating. We know that much going in, but it seems like you guys are taking that as a proper challenge and a helpful one at that too. So, you know, what are your guys' goals for this season? In regards to what are you looking to do with the conference? That sort of thing.
Um, We really want to just punch as high as we can, really see if we can get one of the top spots. Even though there's a lot of challenges out there, I believe we can do it. And as long as we keep working together, I think we really got this. I think it's really interesting to play with a bunch of new players too. And honestly, I think overall the gelling has been going really well. So I think I think we got a great shot at doing this, and I'm really excited.
Absolutely. I'm going to throw it over to Tim for one last question, and then we'll let you go. So.
Yeah, Logan, so I want to ask about the team dynamic a little bit here. I mean, you guys start off the season, 3 back-to-back losses. That's a tough start, but you've been able to just bring it right back. Great recovery by you guys. So I want to ask, you're coming off these losses. How does the team process it? Are you guys getting speeches? You talking to each other? Do you all just kind of do your own thing? Bring a fresh mental to the next practice, just recover? Because obviously you guys were able to turn it around, which is great to see. So I'm just wondering, what does the team do to kind of recover and just bring yourselves back into it?
Uh, I personally feel like everyone kind of does their own thing, but after losses, I mean, we have a really brilliant and amazing coach that really gives us pep talks and tells us that it's not our only shot. We can keep trying, and honestly, it's amazing to like just see kind of how we bounce back. I feel like after every practice and every game day, we all kind of go do our own things, and if some of us talk, we kind of reminisce and see what we can do better. But honestly, it's just really our own thing.
Well, absolutely. I truly appreciate that, and shout out to Coach Bradley Bebo here. He like you said, we're proud to have him here too. So I want to thank you for your time, Logan. It's it is not easy being interviewed and being put on the spot with some of these questions, and you handled it wonderfully. So I do appreciate it, and like I said, thank you so much for your time. We'll go ahead and we'll do the closeout, but yeah, once again, thank you.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you again to Logan IXI for that wonderful interview. Like I said to him, it is not easy to be put on the spot, and he handled it really, really well. So always awesome to get these interviews going. Hopefully, we'll have a few more wins across the season to be able to get some more interviews going for you guys, because they're one of my favorite parts of the broadcast. I love getting to do those interviews. It's always cool to see the insights into how the team's looking through these games. So, yeah. With that said, though, we that is the second win on the season for NIU. Really nicely played. But any last thoughts, Tim?
Oh my goodness! Just want to thank everyone for coming out. Great to see everyone in the chat. Keep up, the chatting and the spamming of NIU emotes. We love to see it. Also, make sure you join us tomorrow. We have an Overwatch match. Wednesday, once again, too, we have another league match. So, a lot of exciting things coming up. Stay tuned.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Tim said, 7 o'clock tomorrow here on the channel. We're going to have Overwatch. I believe it's against Central Michigan, and they are looking to stay undefeated on the season. So definitely show up and show out for the NIU Overwatch team, as they are looking quite strong to start the season. And then on Wednesday, as Tim mentioned, we'll have yet another League of Legends match here for the Huskies. That one is going to be, let me pull it up real quick, and we will have that for you. It's going to be at 7 o'clock on Wednesday, and that is going to be against the Ohio University Bobcats. So NIU looking to potentially move back to 3-3 on the season and make it to 500 here. And Ohio, certainly a team that they'll look to do so against. So we'll see how that one goes, but please join us on Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, and then Saturday at 2 o'clock, we'll be once again here for some more League of Legends, and that'll be NIU, and it looks like that is Miami University, so that'll be a tough one, but it'll be a fun one to watch for sure on Saturday as well. So lots of things coming up. Keep your eyes on the NIU Esports Discord, the Twitch channel, all the different things. We'll have a bunch of updates as we go. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great night. Have a great Valentine's Day tomorrow, and spend some time with another one of the games you love, which is Overwatch tomorrow night. So, all right, have a good one, and we'll see you soon.